an interactive activity where the kids can move stuff or drag and drop, or they can type in their text. This is built in slides. This is one way. Maybe somebody knows a better way, but this is the way that I know is easiest. So this first slide I already did. Basically, they had built this slide, but when the kids open it, they'd be able to move around these things. So let me show you. I did the same thing on this one. I don't want the kids to move any of this around. This is kind of the directions. I don't want them to do anything with it. So on this page, I want my directions where the kids can't do anything, but I want them to be able to type here. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to insert a text box. I'm going to show you how to do the background in just a second. So I'm going to insert a text box, and usually what I do, because the text box will not, unless you put a border on it, it's not, the kids won't see it. So I usually type in here, type your answer here. Okay, and then you can actually format it, I think, to whatever font you want the kids to type in. Of course, they could probably change it on their side too. So I'm going to put it like this. You can actually put a border. I don't usually put a border because I just like it to look cleaner. And then I'm going to just make a copy of this and then put it down here where they type this answer down here. Okay, so now when the kids come in, see, they can't interact with this. They can't interact with the directions back here, but they can interact with this text box right here. So I'm going to go to the next slide and hopefully, okay, so again, so this slide I haven't fixed yet. So if you look, see how if I'm a student and I click on this, I could like delete it. I could totally mess this up. So I'm going to click outside the window, and I want to keep this in the background where the kids are not going to interact with it. So this is what I'm going to do. I like the way it looks. I am going to go here and I'm going to go to download this as a JPEG, which is an image file. It's a picture. So I'm just going to do the current slide, which is what it'll do. It only does one slide at a time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this stuff off. I'm going to delete all this off. So, but you can actually make the background clear because we're going to just drop the picture on it anyway, but I'm not going to do it. It's fine the way it is. Then what I want to do is I want to put the directions on. So I'm going to go to insert, and I'm going to go to insert an image because we saved it as an image, a picture. And I'm going to upload it from my computer, and it should be the last one I just saved. So it should be right here, and I'm going to open it. And now see how that is now in my background. You can make it bigger, whatever. And now the kids cannot interact with it. I mean, they could probably, some kids will be able to figure out how we did it, and they can like go in and change the background and edit it. But that takes a lot of work. You're going to have some really smart kids to do that. Okay, so now it's in the background. Kids cannot interact with it. And then what I'm going to do is, like, again, I'm going to insert a text box where I want them to type. And I'm going to put type your response here. I'm going to make it a little, I'm going to put it down here. And if you want, you can outline the box, but I don't because I just like it to look this way, but it's up to you. It's however you want it to look. It's your stuff. Okay. So, and then I'll put it here. I might make this one a little smaller and put it underneath because I'm kind of a perfectionist like this. Okay. So let me see if there's any more slides. Nope, that's it. I think that's the last slide. What? Let me go click over here and then see if there's any more slides. Nope, that's the last slide. So then now it's going to save all my changes. I usually save a file like this once I've built it as I usually save it in my drive, and then I usually make a copy to put in the classroom so that I always have a blank one in case I want to use it next year or in case I want to edit it and make changes. And then that's how I make that. So like, for example, you would do the same thing if you had a drag and drop activity. Like usually what I do is I'll put, if it's like vocabulary words or like math stuff, I put those out here. And then in the directions on the page that the kids can't mess with, I tell them to drag the picture or the word and drop it in the correct spot. Like you may have a graphic organizer that has 4, quadrants, or you may have like a column and they're dragging and dropping the words, the CK words over here and the KE words over here. So that's another option too. But that's how you make basically the background where they cannot interact with. So then when you go to assign it in your Google Classroom, when you go to assign it, I'm going to put this, so this is the original that's in their folder. So now when I go in here, I'm going to make a copy of this one this original that I made. I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to do this in Miss Reen's class because she's the one who created the file anyway. So now when I make a copy, I'm going to rename the copy, and I believe it's down here at the bottom. Hopefully I can still see it. Now it's going to pop up. It takes a little while. So now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to rename this because I don't want it to be a copy. I'm going to name it for Miss Reen, and I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to show you how you would put it in your Google Classroom. So now I'm going to go to Miss Reen's class, and it's right here. And this is for next week. This is probably the last day because it's, I believe, the final. Let me think. Yeah, I think it's the last day. Of course, I can change it. I can edit it because I'm not gonna put it live. I'm gonna schedule it out. So then I'm gonna go in here and make an assignment. And I want to say this is week 6, probably day 4. And I don't know. We'll go in and put our directions in later, but I always put directions in. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add, and I'm going to go to Google Drive. And it should be the last thing that should be my most recent because that's what I edited. So here's my most recent. And then I'm going to add it to my classroom. Now here's the big part. It defaults where kids can only see the file. But I want every kid to have their own so they can type their answers on their file. So I have to change it to make a copy for each student. Now, if you don't do this before it goes live, you cannot change it once it's live. So basically what happens is if you make it to where they can only view it, it's just a PDF. They can't do anything. If you have it where the student can edit it, whoever the first kid is that gets in the document types on it, and then the next kid comes in and they type over their stuff. So you won't have each kid having their own. So you always want to make sure you make a copy for each kid if it's something that you want each student to do separately and you want to see their stuff separately. And then, of course, you go in here and you make your due date, and I'm going to make it for, I want to say May 1st. Okay, so May 1st. And then I'm going to put this on, I want to say this one was math, not ST math. I changed it, sorry. Just math. And she can go in here and edit it and fix it for me. But I want to make sure that I'm going to schedule it. Once I assign it and it goes live and if I mess this up, I have to delete the whole thing and start over. So I'm going to schedule it until it goes live. You can change this little default here. So I'm going to schedule it because it's probably going to go out next week. Oh, is that today? This one, sorry. And I'm going to go ahead and schedule it, and she can go in and edit the directions and everything. So now if I go down here to the one I just made, should be gray because it's not live. So here's the gray one, let's say that I made, and I didn't put a title, and I always wanted to have a title. So see how I can still change it? But once it's live, you can't change it. You're going to have to delete it and create a new assignment and make sure everybody gets a copy. So that's how you do it. I hope this helps. Leave a comment or any tips. If you know a shorter way, if you know an easier way, I am welcome to learning anything new.